Hello, everybody.
All right, Ryan, I'll send you a button that has you unmute. It's a public intoxication ticket. Prosecutor just notes say you might want to plead not guilty and have a trial. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Set for trial. We'll be here in person at the court. Do you have any questions before we move you over to get some paperwork signed?
I'm just not understanding how it's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to go to trial for, completely a misunderstanding. Because the last time I talked to you, you said something about a fight was going on, or the police officers got called into a fight. I'm standing there, I'm trying to pay my tab. The bouncer didn't like that. I looked at him while he was saying, everyone get out, and I kind of looked back at the bar to, get my tab paid, and he grabs me by the neck. I go directly outside. I hear, "This is the guy," and I have witnesses. I was with, four or five buddies.
Right.
I hear, "This is the guy," and they literally grab me and put me in a car, and I go to jail. It's a complete misunderstanding. I've already dealt
Yeah.
with enough. I've added physical therapy to my shoulders now due to the corrections officers being very violent with me. Is that procedure? When you arrive to a jail, you get, tossed out of the car on the ground on your face and your arms shoved up to your head. Is that procedure? Or
Yeah.
I
So
because
for
I
the
wasn't violent
PI,
at all.
it's going to be up to the prosecutor to prove the offense. If they can't, then you'd be found not guilty. So if they can prove that you were intoxicated in a public place, then you'd be found guilty. If they can't prove that based on testimony or whatever, then you'd be found not guilty of that offense.
That sounds very broad. Intoxicated in a public place. I'm at a bar. It's New Year's Eve. Obviously, I've been drinking, but I wasn't. You know, I had my Uber was there. I'm not. Yelling at
Yeah, if you
anybody.
weren't
I
intoxicated out in public, then you'll be found not guilty. So
and
it's
when
up
you
to
say
them. They've got
public,
to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt.
when you say public, that means outside of the bar.
Yeah, a place to which the public has access. So the it was kind of going into legal areas, but typically that means it's not like your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom. Like a public
It
place is
just
a place to
yeah.
which the public has access.
Yes, sir. It just really bothers me, that people are out there stumbling, getting into fights, and I'm just paying my tab and I get ripped out of there and directly into cuffs, into a car. No questions asked, no who's this, what did he do? No, nothing at all. And then I get beat on when I would go to the jail when I wasn't physical at all. I would never resist. I'm not that type of person. And especially I'm not going to resist when I'm at the jail. I'm not a crazy person. I know if I'm there, suck it up and deal with it. And it was just a terrible experience, and I just can't believe now I'm gonna have to go to miss even more days of work, more money out of my pocket to go here and just prove that this was a misunderstanding. Would there be any disciplinary actions towards the officer or the corrections officers that are causing me, all this inconvenience for absolutely no reason at all?
Yeah, so the court's job is to resolve offenses that have been filed with the court, and so we're dealing with a public intoxication ticket. The prosecutor's indicated that she has enough proof to move forward with trial. You've indicated that you disagree and you want to have a trial on that charge. So it's the job of the
What?
court then to work to get that resolved by arranging for a trial date where evidence can be presented in a courtroom, and then we can make a decision to get the case resolved. So that's the question before the court at that trial date is, what should happen with the citation? Can the prosecutor prove the facts beyond a reasonable doubt? If not, then you'd be found not guilty. If they can, then we make decisions after that.
I'm just wondering.
That's the question before the court.
What evidence would they have? Like like I personally
We're
know
not
the
in trial yet,
bartender.
so I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea because we're not in trial today, so I'm not quite sure what they're going to present. But that's what
And then
we'll know the
what?
day of.
One more thing. What happens if they say, "Oh, he was fighting," and there's no video? Is it just my word against theirs?
You're not charged with fighting. You're charged with public
Okay,
intoxication.
but when I talked to you the first time when I was in jail, you said the police were called there for a fight. That's what I'm saying. I just don't want to be falsely accused of something crazy. That was
Yeah.
that
No,
was
no.
your
The only
words. Okay.
accusation is public intoxication.
Well, and then when I talked to you that day, it was they got called out there for a fight and picked me up. So there was someone fighting there,
Yeah,
and they
normally if
ignored that, I
somebody
guess.
indicates, like in an arraignment, somebody indicates that they have no idea why they're in jail, I'll pull up the report from the officer and kind of read through a little bit of it to give you some sense of
Yes.
the officers are saying. So that's probably what that was, is I just read you the officer's report about what they were saying they were called out for.
Yeah, and again, that's why I'm just not understanding what the prosecutor would have, because even when you read me, you were like, this is what you were saying when you were getting arrested. It states clearly what is happening. I was just paying my tab.
Yeah.
It's just, this is just, very, very, not normal. If I was doing something crazy, I'd own up to it and just, get it over with. But,
Yeah,
I
and that's the point of the trial date, is so that we on the record, evidence can be accepted. We can go over what happened and what didn't happen, but can't do that today in a pre-trial hearing. But at the court date, we'll be able to.
and then the other option would be what? It's on my record.
No, I'm sure the prosecutor, she normally offers what's called deferred disposition to take care of these tickets. It's pay the ticket, don't get any new ones for 90 days, and it keeps it off of your record. But we're setting it for trial. We're not going down that other route, is what you're wanting to do, which is
Oh,
perfect.
because I was assuming I pay it and it's on my record. So if I
No,
paid it,
deferred keeps it off your record.
oh, okay. I don't think she explained it to me that well. So if I
Yeah,
pay,
normally if in that room she says, do you want to take it to trial, or do you want to do something else? Are you admitting to the ticket? And if you say no, I'm not admitting to the ticket, then she won't even discuss deferred disposition with you.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it's either pay money not on my record or go there and it's not on my record,
Yeah, if at
right?
trial you're found not guilty, uh-oh, we lost him. Nope, there you are. You're still here. Yeah, if at trial you're found not guilty, it does not go on your record. That's correct. If you're found guilty at trial, more likely than not, it would create a conviction on your criminal record for public intoxication.
Huh. So honestly, then, because I would lose $250 that day anyway, missing work. So I think I would rather just pay it and do the not get in trouble, because I know for sure I'm not going to do this in, whatever set amount of time y'all say, I'm not going to, get in trouble. So I
Right.
think I would rather go that route than.
Okay. It's completely up to you. I don't want you to think that your arm was twisted or anything. I'm perfectly fine setting up a trial date for you and getting that scheduled. The
No, I
kind of
just want to
convenience
confirm
of,
though, it is
yeah,
the
go ahead.
deferred thing where if I pay, it's just don't get in trouble and I'm all good. No record. That's it.
It's as
I'm okay
simple
with
as
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay
Cool.
with that, because I would
Cool.
lose that amount of money that day anyway, going there to
Okay.
prove it to y'all.
Awesome. $200, no new tickets for 90 days, keeps it off your record. Any
Does that
questions
go with
before we
speeding
get you moved
speeding
over to
tickets
get some
too?
paperwork signed?
Is that speeding tickets too?
I don't have any speeding tickets for you.
No, like you said, no tickets for 90 days. Does that include speeding tickets or something like that?
It does, but I mean, we're not going to revoke you for speeding tickets.
Okay.
Normally, you might be
Okay.
called in for a hearing to talk to a judge on
Uh-huh.
Zoom about, like, why'd you get a new one? But it's I'm not the judge who does those, but the judge who does
Okay.
those is very reasonable about ensuring if
Okay.
it's a PI charge, don't get any new PI tickets.
Yeah, no, I've never got one, and I probably never will again. I
You don't
shouldn't
have
even got
any.
one that time, but
You don't even have a
stuff happens.
registration or a blinker charge out of our court. So yeah,
Yeah.
everything else is clear. This will keep it off your record. Any other questions before we get you moved over to get some paperwork signed?
I do want to figure out how to do a formal complaint on those corrections officers that, did that, because that's not okay. I understand, I was mouthy, but I had a right to be mouthy. I'm going to jail for, absolutely I did nothing wrong. So
I do
yeah, I'm
that
mouthy.
sooner rather than later. Videos are kept for a while, but if I were you, I'd try to get that done sooner rather than later. You should be able to Google where to go for the Denton Police Department, or just show up at the front steps of the Denton Police Department, and they'll help you with that.
That would be great. So yeah, I'll probably just go there and just request all that stuff, and that'll be all good.
Yep, yep, yep. All right, hold on the call. We'll
And
get you
then
moved over to get some paperwork signed.
okay, and then one more question. I'm
Of
sorry.
course.
How long do I have to pay that 200? Is it like
The
an
clerk,
immediate?
no, the clerk will let you know the due date. It's typically about 75 days, 2.5 months
Oh,
out.
perfect, easy.
Yeah. Awesome. All
I
right. Hold on.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Hold on the call. We'll get you moved over to get some paperwork signed.
Perfect.
All right, sir, are you Kevin Spihar?
Yes, sir, I am. I
Okay,
can't see you.
all right, 1 second. All right, I'm not sure why the video isn't working, but if you're unable to hear me at any point, please let me know, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, looks like we have everybody else connected, so just 1 second here. Okay, we're on the record now in People versus Kevin Spihar, case number 226450. The record should reflect Mr. Spihar is present today by video from Otsego County Jail. If I could have counsel put your appearances on the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Michael on behalf of the people.
Larry Brown on behalf of Mr. Spihar.
All right, and the record should reflect we have Mr. Brunikel also present on behalf of probation and parole. Mr. Spihar, you're before the court here today for arraignment on two alleged probation violations. Have you been given a copy of or notified of what the alleged violations are?
I saw, I heard. Larry Brown.
I'm sorry.
Larry Brown
Okay.
told me the alleged charges.
All right, and Mr. Brunikel, is this would this be a first finding of a technical violation?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Spihar, I'm going to go through with you a few things with regard to your rights. First of all, you do have the right to have a hearing as to whether or not you violated your probation as alleged. You also have the right to have an attorney present at any subsequent proceedings. If you can't afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. Mr. Brown is present today for purposes of arraignment. If you are found guilty of the alleged violations, the maximum penalty you could face, because they are technical violations, would be up to 15 days in jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Brown, it sounds like you did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Spihar.
Yes, I have, Your Honor. He would qualify for an attorney. However, I believe he is going to proceed today without an attorney, other than me standing in here. But I believe we are going to be taking a plea today. There is one issue that he has. I don't know if Mr. Brunikel would delete this from one of the allegations.
Okay, can you make a record of what that is?
It is it is count one, condition number 3. The very last sentence, he failed to report after release from the hospital on January 3rd. He's claiming that he called on the 4th, which would probably be within 24 hours. If Mr. Brunikel would just delete that sentence, I believe we can resolve this today.
All right, Mr. Brunikel.
Yes, Your Honor. I can delete that sentence to proceed.
All right, okay, so the court will strike that last sentence from count 1 of the alleged violation. And Mr. Spihar, is that how you wanted to proceed by pleading guilty today?
Final asking is getting treatment and getting help and paying all my dues, like drug treatment and all that stuff, and get a job and stuff. But it takes time. I made mistakes, and I'm sorry.
Okay, does that mean that you wanted to plead guilty then?
Sure.
Well, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. You can lower your hand. Mr. Spihar, you understand again that the maximum penalty you could face would be up to 15 days in jail?
Yes. I have a
And
court
with
date
that-
on the 5th too.
What was that?
I have a court date on the 5th in Genesee County too.
Okay. With that maximum penalty in mind, you want to plead guilty to the alleged violations, is that correct?
Yes.
Has anybody threatened you with anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Has anybody
You're trying to
promised
do
you?
the right thing.
Yeah, has anybody promised you anything?
No, sir.
Is it your own free choice to enter this plea?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you did violate your probation?
No. I turned myself in like I was supposed to jail and all that stuff. So I'm just doing the best thing I can.
Okay. Let's see here. So it alleges at count number 1 that you on or about December 16th of 2024 that you failed to complete residential treatment and you failed to report to your probation officer as you're required to. Is that true?
No. I was in treatment and I saw my probation officer, and I went to the hospital because I was on Suboxone. So, and then I went to another treatment center and I couldn't stay on my Suboxone, so I got constipated and all that stuff. So it's been a long road.
All right. Did you complete the residential treatment as you were required to?
I did not. No, I did
Okay.
not, but I want to.
All right. And did you have a change of address or employment status that you failed to notify your probation officer of?
No, I wasn't employed yet, and I didn't have an address. I stayed at the shelters down there, freaking New Path and all that stuff. So they have like 3 shelters. And I talked to my probation officer. She said, you can stay at the shelters, just don't go to your brother's house.
All right. The court finds that there's a sufficient factual basis to support a finding that you did violate your probation by failing to complete residential treatment as required. The court finds that your plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate. So the court will find that you did violate condition 3 as alleged at count 1 of the probation violation. Mr. Brunical or Mr. Rolla, how did you want to proceed with regard to sentencing?
Judge, we would leave it to Mr. Brunical to proceed on that since he's the probation agent.
Your Honor, given it's his first technical violation and he's looking up to 15 days jail, the probation department would just recommend jail incarceration up to 15 days.
Mr. Brown, anything on behalf of Mr. Spehar?
On Mr. Spehar's behalf, to his credit, he did turn himself in. He was homeless, as he said. He's going through a lot of things. He wants to get into residential treatment and take care of some of the issues that he's dealing with. He does apparently have February 5th hearing down in Genesee County. So I would like him to be able to attend that, deal with the actions in Genesee as well. So I would ask the court, if it is going to impose a jail sentence here, that it impose no more than the time that it takes to get to February 5th so that he can handle his other issues in Genesee.
All right, Mr. Spehar, anything that you wanted to say today?
I'm just, like I said, I'm sorry.
All right, the court finds that based on the alleged violation in this case, that 15 days in jail is an appropriate sentence. So the court will sentence Mr. Spehar to 15 days in the Otsego County Jail. Mr. Spehar, when did you turn yourself in on this?
Turned myself in on Thursday.
Yesterday?
No, I mean, I turned myself Monday.
Okay. Mr. Brunical, do you have information on how long I just need to get jail credit for Mr.
Yes, Your Honor. I am looking at notes in our system from his probation agent down in Genesee County. It shows that he appeared and was arrested on the 28th. So jail credit beginning on Tuesday, the 28th.
Okay, so 15 days with credit for 4 days served. The court will continue probation. Mr. Brunical, anything further that we need to address today?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Brown?
Nothing further. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. That's all for
My
this
court
hearing
date on
today.
the 5th.
Okay, that's all for this hearing today.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.